welcome. As always, I'm your friendly neighborhood Dungeon Master Peter. And with me, as always, we have our lovely selection of Oreos. I'm not doing the full intro again because I don't remember the full intro. But I'm filling in for Peter's mouth because he currently has an Oreo in his mouth, so I can't answer the whole thing. When he is done eating his Oreo, we will continue on with part 2 of the session.
Finally, a very attractive narrator to segue us into the...
Flattery will get you everywhere with me, Travis.
Talbot takes 30 points of damage.
Ouch.
What?
Talbot takes 30 points of damage.
I use healing hands or lay on hands. Sorry, words are hard because I have fucking healing word, fucking second wind, lay on hands. There's so many fucking goddamn.
Alright, may I take 30 points of damage?
May I eat a special Oreo that heals him for 30 points of damage? Good berry.
It expends a reaction and only takes half of it.
May I take another 30 damage to equal 30?
He's gonna take a short.
Spend another reaction.
He'll take a short rest and use hit die in order to regain.
You will keep taking 30 until you get 30 damage.
He got 30 damage and now he healed it. Fuck you. He took his 30 damage.
Fuck you.
You can't have your cake and eat it too, you bastard.
I can have what I want.
I know, you still have those 2 Oreos that are sitting there very tantalized.
Alright.
Anyways.
So
welcome back to part 2.
The request is to summon Eugene. Would you like to summon Eugene now?
I don't want to summon
to
Eugene. I would like to use the Iron Ring to try and kill Eugene. At least I would. I don't know if anyone else has other plans.
I mean, I asked her, so obviously, looking for that opportunity.
Beryl was asked to be on her best behavior, so anything involving Eugene has just got her keeping her mouth shut.
Here we go again. What?
I'm sorry, can we backtrack? Do you have specific hold music for your iRing?
Yeah, you don't?
No, you never showed us how to install
I
that.
thought it was just a given.
Is it a given?
Have you not talked to your Irene?
No, not really. You really pretty much told us it was communication. I didn't know it was sentient.
Well, yeah, that's how it talks back.
Holy shit, okay. Hey, so, question.
Yes?
Teleportation circle.
What about it?
Geldusk. They got one?
Not answering that question.
Well, then you're no use. That's literally all I called you for.
Well, what? I picked up for this.
We don't know if there's a teleportation circle, and we need to be familiar with the teleportation circle.
No one does.
What do you mean no one does?
No one does.
How
no one goes to Geldusk.
Well, we're trying to look there because we're trying to set a little peace treaty between them and the Leonins in order to make sure that we can get either at least both their sides or at least the fucking Leonins trust. At least to either get them to the meeting or maybe more. Who knows? But if we can settle a peace treaty between them and the Leonins, then we won't have this fucking problem. But if we don't know, if literally no one goes there, even the omnipotent god that may be Eugene, you fucking asshole, if you don't fucking know, then what's the goddamn point?
Ah, Bousta, I miss your irritating voice.
I'm sorry.
This
Let
is
me
private
reiterate.
conversation.
There you
should
go.
do it publicly.
I start speaking in Vidalcan.
Leander's thing
this
is
a public call
publicly
or a
announcing
private
it.
one.
That's a public call.
Ah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Leander's irony is publicly announcing it.
In Vidalcan. I apologize. Let me rephrase that. Do you happen to know of a transportation circle that exists within Geldusk?
Is it necessary?
If we wish to establish a
Yes.
peace treaty, yes.
What do you have to offer in Geldusk?
A peace treaty between them and the Leonins so that we can get both of their assistance within this war.
Okay.
We need all the help.
I'm just trying to think of the correct words to use this or say this. Well, you must first obviously get an audience with the leaders, but they're not just going to take you without you offering them something. So what are you going to offer them?
You know?
Gee, Eugene, our fearless leader, why don't you give us an example of something to offer, something that they might like in Geldusk?
Hi, Beryl!
This is not Beryl. I don't know who you're talking to, but I heard someone ask a simple question.
Beryl's back.
Yeah, she's back. You're welcome.
Yeah, I know. That's right. I haven't contacted you guys.
Okay, well, let's not put our family drama over a group call, because currently the rest of the Leonas can hear this conversation. I know we have our infighting.
Leander's thing is active. I talked to him before you guys showed up.
So you know what's happening.
Of course I know what's happening.
Fantastic. So do you have any advice for us to help?
Yeah, don't go to Geldusk.
So then how do you expect us to help the Leonins so that they can have their land back when they come to assist us?
That's why I sent you guys there to hopefully figure it out. Fine, because I know what face Beryl is making. You don't need Geldusk help. You don't want to go to Geldusk. Because Geldusk is a kingdom of cannibals.
Okay.
Do I know this to be accurate? Am I able to do some sort of history check?
There are no written books about Geldusk.
Okay.
It's because no one goes there. They only trade. And guess what they trade?
People?
Yep!
Slaves?
That's why I never sent you to Geldusk. Or ever brought up Geldusk. And their favorite taste is, you can guess it, Leonin and Tabaxi. They hunt, cook, and trade the bones and meat and fur.
So this, like, going in and killing them seems a lot better, but I can't say that as Beryl because morally that would be ambiguous.
I mean, I can say it. I have no qualms in saying this. But the problem is if we get in there, I don't know. Well,
Now you can.
if there were or were not a teleportation circle within the city of Geldusk, how hypothetically close would it be to the leaders of said area?
If they figured out how to reuse it and build it, it's in the throne room.
If someone per se that had a lot of wizardy magical power, aka a very smart Vidalcan woman who is within our party.
You have one of those?
We do. She's a very kind woman who has a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, and I feel like she could be very useful in this situation. Talbot. If she were happen to, say, cast a spell that could get us to said teleportation circle, how readily accessible would we be to the leader of Geldusk in order to, let's say, dispose of said cannibalistic leader?
Well, it really depends on what they're doing. Don't keep tabs on their leaders there because they're cannibals. It's kind of, where a lot of people draw the line at.
Do they eat
But
themselves?
they don't venture out farther into other human territories so no other kingdom bothers them.
So then why are
They
they
don't cross
pushing
the
out
bridge.
so far into the lands of the plains?
I haven't had time to figure out. I've been dealing with other shit.
You are such a great help. I understand that you have
God doesn't know.
your things going on, but as omnipotent as you are to have everything that's happening within this realm, I feel like...
You also gotta remember, I have to let things play out sometimes.
Then tell us that you are just going to let it play out, and instead of telling us you don't know, because telling us you don't know kind of leaves it very open-ended and very frustrating.
Okay, I got to let this play out with Geldusk.
Okay.
Yeah, I answered your question.
Yeah,
so I'm not
and that's
really-
all I asked.
No,
I just
yeah,
want you
I
to be honest instead of just saying I don't know, because obviously you do know, because you're pretty fucking omnipotent at this point.
Family drama over the loudspeaker.
Sorry, forgot. Got a little caught up in things.
Look,
That's
if you
okay.
want to try to make a deal with them, by all means, that's on you guys, but I'm not going to have any part of that.
But what if we don't make a deal? What if we hinder them in order to give the Leonin some of their land back in order to get the Leonin to assist us?
If you have the time to do so, by all means, go for it. But if they push the Leonin and Tabaxis and the other smaller tribes back, they have something that I'm fearful to discover.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to add? I look at Talbot and Beryl.
Not to
Not to the class.
not to the class. Not to the present party.
Um,
I have a thought, but I don't need to share that with Eugene.
the thing
How come you can't
the thing
do
that
it?
concerns me is that if they're pushing they're pushing for something, there is something that the tribes possess that they want.
And that is something I wish to discuss
That is-
with the tribes. And maybe we can assist with the protection of said item or items in exchange for their services and participation in this war. Because maybe the assistance in the protection of said items or relic, whatever the case may be.
Or we just go with them and do a 2-day siege where we push them, this other group further away from their lands, and maybe they'll get the hint.
Fantastic.
I want to ask Leander. Do you know? Obviously, this Geldusk has been pushing your tribes further and further away from your home. Are they colonizing the plains that they take over, or is it just empty space and then they're going back to their city?
Unfortunately, we don't have full information on that. Scouts we send out never return. And I was a risk sending the forces I did just to meet you guys on Crossroad Bridge. I honestly didn't expect you guys to make it back, but luckily you did,
We didn't see anybody in our travels.
which makes me very worried.
So I wonder if they're not colonizing and putting up towns and stuff in the areas that they're taking over. We could, essentially, maybe poison their water source in the city that they are in the capital area.
That sounds like an evil act.
Oh, God forbid I go in and
that was-
help
that's-
a group
that's
of
Peter saying
Leonin.
that.
That was who?
That's Peter saying that.
Oh. It sounds
Me as
evil,
Bousta.
but
Oh,
these
God
people-
forbid the dude who has literally no qualms in doing evil shit to evil people. Oh, the tragedy of me having to poison the water supply of cannibals that are eating the people we're trying to get allies from. Oh, how dare we?
I draw the queen.
Exactly. So,
I'm just saying, like, it would be an easy way for us to give the Leonins, they're scared to leave because they're afraid the Geldusk is going to take over the rest of their lands while they're gone. But if we eliminate the Geldusk cannibals, then they don't have to worry about that anymore because the two towns on either side of them have not made any moves. In fact, have helped them hold on to the area that they've got with trade and all that kind of stuff. So if we were able to cripple them, to a sense, not even take them out, but like cripple them where they wouldn't be able to push so hard.
they have to spend more resources repairing their water supplies and repairing the shit that they do have instead of actually pushing against the people that they're trying to push against. So it does give us that opportunity. I look to Leander. So what is it they're actually pushing for, then? If Eugene is suggesting that you guys have something that Geldusk is looking for.
We don't know.
Inside check.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Because it seemed like a very
You
quick
want to confirm that gold
response.
die real quick for me? Natural 20.
Oh. Let me, where is it? Where is it? Hold on, I got it.
You go
right
find
here.
the lore book.
Total of, and it's a total.
Total.
It's a total of 19.
No one cares about you, Travis. I'm
Uh,
kidding, I care about you, I love you.
a total of 25 for me.
Okay, okay, fine. I'll fuck.
No, you can't leave.
A total of 25 for me, you bastard.
No!
Too late.
No, Travis, come back. I miss your face.
Yeah.
Wait, I feel
Thank
left
you.
out.
There you go.
If not for Peter, for me, please and thank you.
That's 18 plus 9.
27?
27.
Not 20, which is only a 25 for me, but this bitch over here is fucking cranking shit out like it's fucking.
So Leander said, unfortunately, I do not know, and that is because they pushed back before I came back.
Well, so they already have whatever it is y'all were.
They don't talk. Like, from what... When I returned to gather everyone...
That Geldusk isn't talking, or the other captains of, like, their clans are not talking?
Geldusk doesn't communicate with diplomacy or negotiations. Every time we send scouts to them, they don't come back. So we don't know exactly, or at least I do not know what exactly they want.
I look to the other clan leaders and ask if there is anything that they have taken from Geldusk that Geldusk would be trying to acquire back.
Some of them yell, our land, they want to enslave us, like the typical like war things. Which some of them confirm with Leander, like they don't talk, it's just straight slaughter. And since if an enemy doesn't talk, you don't know how to.
Yeah, you can't negotiate with someone that isn't giving you.
They might just be following.
And when they're
their
not
food
like
source.
trying to preserve some of the things, like normally like in wartime you were trying to preserve certain buildings and whatnot, either as like trading or whatnot. They just destroy everything. Like, or they run everyone out, and then you just can't get back in to see what it is. It's very little information about Geldusk that makes them so frightening.
So
How much poison do you guys happen to have on you?
None.
None at all?
We don't use poison.
How many druids do you have on you?
Depending on how powerful you need them.
What's
They
that
want to be
spell?
poison.
Is it Bane?
What do you mean?
I don't remember which one it is. It's a druid spell.
What are you looking for?
Well, it's a disease. It's a spell that does like a disease thing.
I know
It
there's.
doesn't hurt the land.
Huh?
The druids won't cast anything that hurts the land.
Well, the spell itself is a druid spell, so it would be within the druids.
Depending on
Not like it's a
you don't have to
warlock
take it.
spell.
No, but they're the basic ideology of a druid, and of course, Leander will correct me, as Leander must be a druid in order to know this information. They will do everything to preserve the land. They're not there to destroy the land. Casting a spell that would effectively destroy the thing that they are protecting, it goes against their moral code.
That's just our people in general, but yes.
That tends to be the case of a lot of nomadic tribes.
In an instance where a druid perhaps would be able to know, create, or destroy water, would they be able to destroy their water supply, and then when the people of Geldusk are driven out because they have no water supply, recreate it in order to restore the land?
That would be an equivalent exchange of both, I guess, destroying and healing the land at the same time. Since it's only water, and water can be naturally produced, and it's not really harmful. In theory, yes, but the only things that comes to where is we don't exactly know if they even drink water.
Oh shit.
I thought you said Geldusk was a human population,
It is.
so they have to drink water.
They can drink blood.
I have another possible solution.
Again, very little information is known about them.
They can drink blood, but
Exactly. There's very little information.
even a carnivorous community that has to drink blood has to drink something that has blood. Something that has blood has to hydrate, would have to drink water. So if the water supply was poisoned, then the blood they drank would be poisoned in turn. It would be diluted a little bit, but it would still be there.
I was thinking possibly that if they can't get people to find information, we could possibly be the ones to provide the information. Because then at that point they would be able to strategize and defend their lands as such. Because now they can operate on their weaknesses. And since all of your scouts have gone missing or have not returned, we can act on our own will, as we're technically not contracted with you. Neither with them, so we can act on our own accord. Gather some information and return back.
I pull up the Circlet of Human Perfection. I thought I was done with this.
If that is what you think your time is best spent on, by all means.
If it gains your support, I assume it would be.
It makes things more complicated.
I was thinking of blight, but it doesn't do the thing I thought it did.
Gotcha. Yeah, it mostly just kind of like drains plants of water and.
Well, you can do it against
destroys.
monsters too, but it's just a dehydration thing.
Yeah, it's more of a dehydrating than it is like poisoning.
If you think your time is well spent gathering information against
If it's going to make things more complicated, then we're not going to bother. What we want to do is try and ensure you that we can have your lands protected when we come back. Or at least what I want to do.
Contagion.
There it is.
Yeah, inflicts
Well, luckily,
disease.
I already agreed to the meeting. If you guys want to come up with a way,
And I appreciate that you're agreeing to the meeting, but that doesn't mean the rest of them are agreeing to it. And I look to the rest of the clan leaders. Are you willing to put your differences aside with each other and with Leander until this is done for, and then we can address this? Or as soon as we leave, are you going to uphold Leander and it all be chaos?
some of them will yell chaos, some of them will yell support for Leander, some of them will say we need to focus on our lands and not worry about outside problems. Because it's what outside problems got everyone's. Outside problems made it everyone's issues. So let the outsiders deal with their own problems.
If the outsiders' problems are causing you guys issues as well, why don't we solve those issues together and then fix your internal issues together? And I pull out the Circlet of Human Perfection and pop it on and show the human form. I can do subterfuge and get the information for you, so you have information on your enemy to take back your lands, take it off, but I can't do it without your support.
Some of them will again say, if those lands to take back once this war is effort's going on, where are we gonna put women and children who don't fight? Who's going to transport us back to these lands? What about our history of these lands? By the time we gone, Gildas is gonna poison and destroy all these lands we won't even have a home to come back to.
If they poison and destroy the lands, they have no way of accessing a food source from what I'm hearing from Eugene and you guys. If no one's coming back, if they have no one to feast on, they have no reason to go against the lands.
They have 2 reasons.
Oh, I'm sorry. From what I've been told, that it's just...
The telltales.
Oh, the telltales.
So 2 reasons.
But are there any, like, Leonin or Tabaxi within those regions?
No, but those creatures. Course tribe is right above them.
But if the Leonin aren't there, what's to say that they don't already give up and start eating each other? Like, what is the connection keeping them together to where if they run out of a food source, like if, let's say you're stranded on an island with 5 people, if you run out of a food source, you're going to look to the people closest for that food source if you completely run out of options. If those options are exhausted by all of the Leonins from the Plainslands leaving in order to assist with this war, they don't have a food source and they run too low.
They do. And then, you look for optional food source, which would be both the telltale lands, or both telltales. Unless if they can make it through their forest.
If, and that's a big if.
Yeah. Or
Contagions a fifth
depending
level
on
spell slot, so
new
I wouldn't
spread
have
or
it.
not.
Alright.
Talk
I found
about
the spell I was
the
thinking of, and I
yeah.
thought it was a druid spell. It's also open to clerics, but it's a 5th level cleric spell, and I don't have 5th level shit. I only get
Damn.
4th.
This is what happens when you multi-class a cleric.
This is what happens when I'm only a fighter and a bard.
Well, Wouldn't have multi-clastered if I didn't have to do it to be able to talk about chakras.
This is what happens when all my aesthetic is hit shit and hit shit really hard. I don't got much in regards to spells. Bousta cannot help you in the spell casting department.
No shit.
Oh yeah, fuck you too, buddy. Respectfully.
It would be like me saying I wouldn't be able to help you hit a thing with a hammer.
Great plan, but I can't. It's morally impossible for Beryl to for this. Her respect for life is too high.
You hear from the eye earrings. There is one option.
I'm listening.
You're not gonna like it though.
Depends.
Grant them passage to Ravnica.
Oh, I'm about that. I'm 100% about that. I don't give a goddamn fuck.
Grant who access to Ravnica?
The Leonin.
But the only guild that fits in best. Oh damn it! Where's my book? It's the Civilians.
The Civic Combine? The one that I'm part of? I was going to say, I'm like, you motherfucker. The one that I'm a part of?
It's the other S one.
Talk about a fighting community?
Simic?
No, it's the other S one. Rev...
You know which one I'm talking about, right?
I do not. I honestly haven't looked enough into this shit. The Silencia Conclave?
Yeah, it's Conclave.
Oh, yeah. Silencia troops poured into streets, emptied the nature temples, wildlife preserves, and other green spaces controlled by the Conclave. The sense horde of roads clattered on the cobblestones, yada yada yada. Like a thriving garden and carefully tended and abundantly fertile, the communities of the Conclave are a harmonious union of nature and civilization. Yeah.
But
From my time spent in Ravnica, would I have been able to build any type of relation with the Conclave?
yeah. Not as in like the buddy, because all guilds are only contractable
Yeah.
to each other due to the guild pack.
Because I genuinely didn't, I'm not going to lie, I don't know enough about Ravnica. Like, I know I kind of built my backstory around it, but I don't know enough about it to be able to, like, pull bullshit, so I'm genuinely asking you. Like,
Oh yeah,
because you quite literally know more about this than I do, as much as I wish I...
This is my territory.
Exactly, this quite literally is your territory, so you would know a hell of a lot more about this than I do, so I'm genuinely asking you.
I mean, this thing, your gear in particular just stays on the ground and does its own weird ass experiments. Travis's guild just destroys shit and experiments and never miss it.
Would I...
It
Would the people that experimented on me, would I be able to use them as a contact in order to get to the Conclave, in order to create that type of treaty to allow the Leonins access to Ravnica?
Since both of you weren't any really political figure or into politicalness, in theory, yes. But thinking now on how politics work and how much everyone said Ravnica doesn't matter what's going on outside its walls, it's not participating in anything. You can safely assume if they're letting in a whole society into Ravnica, each guild is going to want a piece to further their ranks. So that means you're getting new test subjects. Talbot's guild's getting new equipment testers. Unless you can find someone directly into the Covenant or the Conclave to fully just take them all, but then that's a whole tribe going to strengthen there. It would be a risky thing even to smuggle them in, which no one would know how to do. Except one person.
I was gonna say, I'm like, there is a very short man who seems to know a lot about everything that could make some shit happen pretty easily without anybody knowing.
Oh, people would know.
Yeah.
People would know.
If he didn't want anybody to know, it would be very easy for him to be able to cover some shit up.
Depends Depending on how skilled he
Or
is.
fucking rewrite history. He's fucking still has control of the Madman's box. I don't give a fuck what he says. He can do whatever the fuck he wants, in my opinion. At least in Bousta's opinion, he doesn't give a shit. Yeah, let's... I want to establish a private call between... Well, I want to establish a three-way call between Talbot, Eugene, and I. Specifically. Because the two people from Ravnica and Eugene.
Fuck you guys!
So much hydrates. Start chugging, tit fucker.
I'm done with it.
Start chugging, tit
Go
fucker.
get a water.
Chug, 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 chug.
God damn you.
Gives me time to start reading.
Okay.
Oh, it's also a posture check now.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Alright, let's... fuck.
Oh my god,
Alright,
from my
so,
best
as
friend.
you're like, we should set up a private call. Both Bousta and Talbot just disappear.
Well, here we go.
Alright, how many is that?
That's a
1,
fantastic question.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
I'll
8,
9,
9,
check
10, 11,
12.
12.
There's a total of 12 hydrates. I know this because I can pull up the requests as a mob. There's 12 hydrates.
My man's just chugged 2/3 of a water bottle. Good on you for keeping him hydrated.
Thanks, dear.
Don't forget that posture check, my guy.
Wait, do it again.
13.
Fuck you.
That's just one.
Alright, so you guys go up here.
I want to establish a three-way cut. Oh, shit, hey.
With stools, and Eugene is just sitting on one.
I'm sorry, you could have done this the entire fucking time, yet we still continue to use the eye ring?
Yeah.
There's a reason Beryl doesn't like him.
I'm going to set that aside.
Look, I'm still doing all this shit right now. This is just a formality.
Amazing. Fantastic. So, the Silencia Combine. Or Conclave.
Which is one of the good, best,
Better.
Good.
better guilds in there.
We created a treaty with them to house the Leonins in order to give the Leonins somewhere to stay after this war is done until we are able to actually gain their lands back from Geldusk.
Which, in retrospect, they will probably do, and some of them will probably stay, which is for the ranks. But what about the other 7 guilds also?
That's why I'm asking for your support.
It's not that easy. I can't just simply poof a whole land of Leonins and Tabaxis and whatever else they have into Ravnica. That's not how that works. The only way
So
it
how
can
does
work
it work?
is if you get a majority vote.
From who?
The
From
guild leaders, which you would need Niv-Mizzet, the guild leader of the Combine, and then your guild leader as well.
I slowly pull out my fucking robes that I just took off and start putting them back on. Ugh.
Which I could summon them here, but Niv-Mizzet's not my. He doesn't like me that much. Actually, none of them.
Can you stay hidden while we do this entire conversation?
Oh no, I'm gone. The moment he sees me, he'll try eating me, and I rely to not go into his stomach.
That's what I'm saying. Are you able to hide yourself from him while we have the conversation with him?
If I stand next to Talbot, he might not eat me. But the only issue I see is if we do 3, you at least have 3 of the 9-ish guilds. Which doesn't gain you a majority, but it does give you
A better sway than only
a
one.
better sway, yeah. The 10 guilds.
I love to imagine Beryl just awkwardly sitting there with Leonins.
as Talbot and I both fucking disappear. As I'm like, as like the words that you hear before I disappear. I wonder if Eugene, Talbot, and I can.
But with Nesmis's influences, he might be able to both convince the Boris Legion and the Azara Signet to agree to it, which would give you 5.
Which would give us at least that half majority in order to.
But a deal must be struck then with those two, which will probably require servitude for a X amount of time.
From the Leonins or from us?
From the Leonins. That or a tribute of children.
A tribute of children is not what the Leonins are going to do, especially since their whole argument is about self-preservation.
True.
They're not going to be able to do that. Servitude, on the other hand, a way for them to earn their keep while they're here.
Earn their keep as well as earn their keep while getting the protection that they require from the other guilds, as well as not being invaded by cannibals like Geldusk. I'm sure that they'd be willing to work out a compromise.
Well, maybe. I mean, the only ones who won't have to do servitude would be in the Covenant. But you now have to decide which ones serve and which one gives a luxurious vacation. Because you have different tribes there.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be split up somehow.
But it shouldn't be all of this tribe has to serve and all of this tribe it gets the luxury life. It's going to be some from the tribe serve and some from the tribe get the relaxation life, because that's just how the hierarchy works within these clans. Like, it's not going to be, okay, this clan's fucked, this clan's saved. Like, it's not.
If we were just speaking to Leonins, yes, but we're speaking about guilds that would want numbers.
Exactly, and we can get numbers from multitude of clans, not one clan having these numbers and the other clan having these numbers.
Correct, but certain numbers, however you split the pie, there's going to be a certain number of Leonins, whether it's mixed between the tribes or not, living luxury in the Covenant, while some are being probably experimented on, some are being equipment testers, some are being police officers or military enforcers or trainees. It might cause resentment, but it will at least save their lives. That's if, depending on the allotted time, depending on the guild's request of time. Now, your guild might just accept them if a few of them gets tested on.
I mean, I was fucking one test subject, and here the fuck I am, so I'm
you
sure.
were Loxodon being tested on.
I wasn't even a fucking Loxodon, I was literally just a fucking elephant being tested on. Here the fuck we are.
And they don't have that type of race in Lavnica.
Yeah.
And putting experiments on, or equipments on different creatures to see if they can handle it. It's right at the alley visit.
What do you think, Talbot?
It's a risky shot, but
It's a better shot than leaving them alone and leaving them with no land.
that's it, they take it.
Yeah, they are a proud society, as it were. They may not see it the way that we do, which, let's face, they're not going to see it the way that we do.
And how do you expect the way that they're going to see it? Is it in your expertise? Is it going to be worth our time trying to work out this compromise, or should we just hope for the best with Geldusk trying to take over their land? I want to try and give them somewhere to stay.
My thinking is, because they're proud and that we could give them the tools necessary in order for them to continue that.
That is another way.
Hear me out.
And we do that by we go scout. We go scout those those cannibals that they have no information about and are continuously being pushed back.
I was about to say, if we offer the tribes of Geldusk as test subjects to the guilds in in a payment of sorts to the protection of the Leonin and their allied tribes of like the Tabaxis, the Rabbit folk, the Owl folk, the Grungs. If we offer up the people of Geldusk as tribute to these guilds, if they will take the Leonin in as allies and as equals, rather than using them as servitude.
Either way, that would involve us getting information.
There is one other way.
Okay. I'm listening.
The Nivic Cyclops. So these Cyclops are workshop guards, but in a sense they are strong enough to hold their own. And in order to get these, obviously a deal would have to be made.
I'm
Oh,
gonna check
fuck you.
I'm
You just played these cards against me when we were playing Magic before the
I
session.
honestly
Fuck
was just
you.
in there. Yeah.
Absolutely fuck you. This is absolute disrespect to me specifically. Continue though. Sorry.
But so what?
What out of game, what guild were you a part of in Ravnica, Talbot?
I was part of
The guild I beat you with. Nevmizit.
Yeah, Nesmith. I always mess up on the name.
The Is That League?
What?
The Is That League?
Yeah, it is at least.
So
the
if
dragon itself is named Nevmizit.
So if that's the case, if between the two of us and the two leaders of the Simic Combine and the Izzet League, if we were able to strike a deal for basically the souls, for lack of a better speak, of the Geldusk people, instead of the Leonins killing them when we take back the lands, of capturing them and sending them to Ravnica for testing and experimentation, that we get not only protection for the Leonins, but potentially assistance in this war.
Possibly.
Trade souls for souls.
Hear me out here.
Okay.
Hear me out though. What if there's a way that no one has to sacrifice too much? Well, not
I mean, we're not sacrificing shit. We're sacrificing people we already want to kill.
I mean,
Or at least the Leonin already
there
want to
is
kill.
a way to possibly get what we want, but also send protectors to the Leonin that cannot be breached by Geldusk.
Okay.
Which involves both of your guilds.
Okay.
But it involves you both giving up something.
Depends on what we're giving up.
So, obviously your guilds have keeping tabs on you. You both have become incredibly strong, acquired new magic, and acquired new abilities. Which your guild would want back. Out of the lending of its power, influence, or whatever they gave you.
Okay.
Plus your time outside of Ravnica can be cut short at any moment due to these guilds. But if you give them something worth enough, in your case, mate with one of their experiments and produce a child.
You motherfucker.
And have Talbot spend with her or her child the first 3 years in in Ravnica, studying and raising and become one of their hierarchies. And Talbot offers to teach people her new magic, which will produce great results for both guilds.
I thought Talbot's new magic could only be performed by her bloodline.
Correct.
And if that's the case, they can, especially with the people in Ravnica, they can almost do like test tube babies, for lack of a better term, in order to utilize their bloodline, put the blood into other people for them to be able to access that magic.
Which will greatly benefit both guilds.
Whether they reject the blood and they die, it doesn't matter. But if they accept the blood and the bloodline is now in their system, then they're able to utilize that magic.
And then your guild will get a offspring of the potential you will have, or several offspring of the potential you have.
Whether it's I mate with a few and grant several offspring to create even more lines underneath, or at the very least, if only one takes, then I have the one that they're able to.
Correct.
God, I fucking morally I hate it, but if that's what it takes for this to happen, like
still game to go poison the food supply of Geldas.
like Bousta quite literally owes his current existence to the Civic Combine, and he quite literally like even after the connection that he shared with his daughter and had that like that moment, he in the end of the day owes everything to the Combine and will do whatever it takes in order to get the in order to kind of pay it back to the Combine, as well as allow for some type of security for the Leonin for future in order to lock them in as allies as well.
Plus, if the other guilds reject this offer, the other two guilds can offer up whatever offspring or study, so the other guilds may participate in it.
In that, or if they don't accept that as a fallback, we have the people of Geldusk as tribute, if absolutely necessary to come to that. If what we offered the other guilds don't accept, we at least have other people that they can experiment on and have their way with in order to grant that type of favor as a fallback in case they don't accept what we are offering as tribute. It's worth a shot, in my opinion. At least for Bousta. I can't speak for Talbot.
Let's try.
But you know what this would mean, right? You are giving up the beginning life of your child. Both of you will.
I've already given up the end of her life to Cthulhu, apparently.
Yeah.
The Combine took me in later in my life, but I owe everything to them. And I can't guarantee her full safety, but
You're at least guaranteed
if she's anything like me, I know she'll be fine within the Combine.
Well, hey, just because it worked out one way, maybe you guys can change the outcome of this one.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I can call him.
Talbot, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is gonna hurt the both of you, but it's gonna be worth it. I'm sorry. He yanks at you both from the distance. You drop to 1 HP.
Oh shit!
And you drop to 1 HP with no magic.
Oh shit!
And both your leaders are side by side each other, and Eugene goes, "Okay, I'm staying next to Talbot." And they both.
So let's put this into perspective. For the scroll bar on D&D Beyond on the mobile version, it only allows you to scroll up to 100 damage. That still doesn't bring me down to 1 HP.
And you just see Ned Visit towering over just everyone, and he's just a cloaked figure, dripping like wet as the representation or the leader. Because since your guild doesn't really have a leader, it has.
Is it not?
I think your guild is more concluded as a council,
Or representative.
or just every laboratory access its own. I think.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like more of a multitude of
Webs, or
yeah,
however you want to think of it.
Civic Combine.
Meantime, Beryl's sitting there at the Leona and it's just like, I'm telling you, if I had 7 volunteers to go with us, and I had one that could be a druid that could cast contagion, we could just fly on the windwalk, we make a camp, be all sneaky about it. You know, we cast contagion on whatever their food and water source is. You know, it'd be a slow kill. All right, they'd be killing themselves by eating the bad food, drinking the bad water. They'd be weakened. You guys would be stronger. They couldn't take over your lands while you were gone. You come back, be real easy to take them out. Boom, boom, boom. With you guys gone, that's their food source. They'd be starving while y'all are at it.
This is Prime Speaker Zagana is technically the leader for.
Okay. And she will show up.
Yeah.
Nev would go, what is the meaning of this? And she will also yell that. And they both look around and go, Bousta? Talbot? And they both focus their eyes on Eugene. And he goes, hi! Hi! Thanks, you're such a lovely hydration.
I make sure to take off the robe completely, revealing the neon light-esque tattoo of Nizmizit on the skull going down the back of the neck.
I retake off the robes in order to show my tattoos just because I feel left out of this situation.
Nev asks, how were you able to pull us? Eugene will go, well, yeah, I still got a couple of tricks up my sleeve. But mainly because of them. Then it looks like he's about to do a breast weapon.
Hey,
just screw something over to Talbot.
before we
And
make any hasty decisions or ones that we may or may not regret, we have a proposition.
What is it? Experiment 2678978.
I have a fucking name, you know.
Experiment 2, whatever I just said.
Fantastic. Hey, so you know how I worked out, right?
One of our better experiments.
How would you like if you had more of me to experiment on?
Go on. I'm interested.
We have a group of people within our land that we are trying to ally in order to take down the likes of the cults and actual godhood of Tiamat and potentially Cthulhu.
Baby gods.
Correct. We need assistance in taking them down. And in return, we require protection for said people. And within the place, the conclave. I don't remember the full name. I had it pulled up and then I looked up something else.
I think it's Selesnya.
Something like that, yeah.
That sounds about
The
right.
Selesnya conclave. Fucking hey, close on.
Oh, the conclave.
The conclave. We'll just call it the conclave for now because I can't find the fucking full word for it. Considering their heritage, they would make great work within the conclave, but in order to transport a group that large and offer said protection, obviously we need a majority from the guilds. And we need people like you to assist with said leverage within the other guilds.
We don't have... What race are these?
Leonin.
Ooh.
Leonin, Tabaxi,
And
and
Tabaxi.
others sprinkled in, but a majority are Leonin and Tabaxi.
Which I always wanted to see what a fish and a tiger would do. Or a gilded tiger.
We're trying to not let them be experimented on unless they volunteer for it.
Alright,
Which is why-
experiment, blah, 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 blah.
Which is why, at least on my end, I am offering my service and my bloodline to continue to allow you to experiment on and hopefully recreate the results that I came about from.
You give me that, plus 10 volunteers, and a year's worth of experiment back on you, and I'll agree to it.
10 willing volunteers. They have to be willing. It cannot be
Well,
10
of course,
people I
if
choose.
I'm not
They
willing
have
to experiment, it hinders negative results. Before you say anything, you're an animal, you don't have rights.
Yeah, these people did a lot for you.
They-
I'm not there.
They did. They gave me life. I was in retrospect. before I became the fighter barbarian awesome man Bousta, I was think of me like Dumbo, where I was literally a circus elephant.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was before them.
All right.
He literally had no rights.
I had no rights, so them giving me any rights was already better than what I had.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, it sucks. It's bullshit. Don't get me wrong.
I'm just saying, you're putting other people who already have rights in the hands of these people.
Correct. For people that already have rights, it's absolute trash.
It was 5 Leonin and 5 Spaxies. We'll take 3 males and 2 females, the same with other ones. 3 males and 2 males.
Three males, 2 females.
Yeah, for both sides.
Does your guild see you as having rights now?
Considering the fact that they're labeling me as experiment 23926 or whatever the fuck.
So you're going to give them people who in their land have rights. You're going to give them more animal people who probably don't have
who
rights.
willingly volunteer, yes.
Beryl's not here.
Who willingly volunteer. I am not being like, yeah, that one, that one, that one.
You see that one? No, definitely that one.
Yeah, that one looked at me funny, so that one.
Oh, God.
Like, it has to
See
be
that
volunteer.
kid? He's a dick. He looks like a dick. Take the kid.
He looks like he's going to be a dick. Take that one. Has to be willing volunteers.
And when we put this to the council, you will have the guilds, our guilds, vote on a yes.
And
you know that's not how we do things.
And for
Are we doing like a
our-
blood pact, or what the fuck is happening here?
Oh, we'll let Talbot speak, and then we'll get back to that.
Okay.
And for our guild, I know that you have not been able to see what I've been able to do.
No, but I can smell it on you, Talbot.
And at that point, Talbot will utter some arcane words in Vettelkin and will, off in the distance, far away from Nesmizet, cast a fireball, and with additional swirls and blue neon magic stemming through the other hand, seeing a fireball not just explode, but continuing to feed the magic into the hand that extends into the fireball, extending for an additional 30 seconds, which is completely outside of the norm of what is traditionally possible with the wizards, as I continue to expend spell slot after spell slot after spell slot in order to demonstrate.
Okay, can we backtrack and understand, like, what... You know what? Never mind.
Bousta, make me a perception check. I think you know...
I don't want to kill them.
Yeah, that's why don't say it.
19?
Okay.
Oh, no, dirty 20.
That's fine.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So as you see Talbot doing this, and them you see Eugene's behind Talbot, like just no, don't kill me.
Eugene's the one doing this.
Yes.
But
he's because Talbot again had
one hit
no
point,
magic.
no magic.
But some reason Talbot's doing it, and you can greatly tell that Visit knows, but he's knowing that day is something that she can do. But we're not going to ruin it for Talbot.
I love this moment, and I'm gonna sit.
Talbot has a moment.
Bousta's offended for half a second until he realizes what is happening, and then he's just gonna sit there and just chill after he feels kind of like the Civic Combine steel has already been struck, so he's just gonna kind of let this play out.
I think Talbot forgot I said drained all spells
Yeah.
and to 1 HP.
Yeah. I did not hear that.
That's why I looked at Rachel. I was like, I didn't have it.
You're great. I love you, buddy.
No.
You're so fun.
No,
No, it's cool. It works. You even regardless of whether you heard it or not, whatever you did, your
Happens.
character believes it worked.
I'm about it.
I am too. I love it.
I have magic that is now effectively in the bloodline. What I'm willing to offer is to give that to the guild.
And how would you do that?
Well, we have ways of collecting samples of DNA, which is how this magic comes to be. It's only through a bloodline. You can have my first child.
For how long?
They will be groomed and primed for the guild specifically.
Give me 1 second. Keep thinking. Sorry. All the chugging of water makes me have to really go pee. Sorry. Damn hydrates.
Now I feel like it.
Genuinely. I gotta go potty, and it goes a little like this.
I'm really embarrassed, and I really hate.
Why are you embarrassed?
Because it's embarrassing. Nothing did anything.
Hey, Eugene helped you cast this extended fireball. You're fine.
Hey.
I was just telling Dom, I was like, this is generally one of the few things that Eugene's ever done that's been genuinely nice without any kind of, like, backhanded, like, I need to do this for some other reason. And Beryl wasn't there to see it.
Yeah, like one of the times Eugene has actually been very helpful in setting everything up, and aside from like damn near killing us and draining you of all your magic,
one
like
genuinely nice, kind thing he's done, and Beryl's not been there to see it.
Okay, sorry.
That was very quick. Good on you. Very efficient.
Do it again.
And
To what age?
also,
Primed and groomed until what age? Or do we get him for his life? Or her?
I was gonna say both of you to assume gender.
Shut up, experiment, blah 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 blah.
How do you know my experiment number?
She just said it!
Well, that's fair.
I'm a fucking dragon, I have a good memory.
I'm proud of you. I'm
I-
very proud of
He eats an Oreo.
you. He eats an Oreo.
I was thinking 21.
Ooh. Thanks.
Is that how long it's been a legal adult in America?
I guess so.
Hmm.
Oh.
Okay. I would want that. You to create 5 new weapons or tools within a year time span and produce me a second child of the opposite gender to see if the test results if the magic attaches to a certain gender or not, or sex.
I can agree to that.
And that second child will be the 21, primed and groomed for 21 years.
As the 8-foot tall elephant man just raises his hand very politely, shutting his fucking mouth.
What do you want, experiment?
How could she guarantee the gender of the other child?
Oh, it looks like if she can't, she will be producing offsprings for quite some time. Who knows? We may be nice enough and let you have one.
I'm sorry, what?
You swamp guild.
I look over at my guild leader and like, as I'm like slowly reaching towards my hammer,
She already has it on her.
as both her and I are looking for disapproval from the other, and we're not seeing it, and we somehow hold each other back.
Agreeable.
Then you have a deal. What guilds do we need to convince? Oh, who do we need to convince in order?
And the biggest one we need to convince is the Conclave, because they're going to be the ones most willing to offer said protection to the Leonin and Tabaxi and other guilds.
Oh, Conclave.
The Seismic or whatever the fuck. Sesnian. I as Dominic
With
can't
adjustments to the deal.
Do what?
Instead of 21 years, we'll do 45.
But I'm sorry, you guys already agreed to the 21 for both children.
That kid don't mature until the age of 40. And I would like to see child to full adult in a little pass.
And
40 for the study, 5 years of military service. Little kids live for quite some time. 45 years is nothing.
and you guys already agreed to the deal, so it doesn't.
Well, I thought
I'll just
about it. Little kid's
I'll just keep my
lifespan.
fucking mouth shut because it's not my fucking business. But also at the same time, you already agreed to the deal, so I don't know why you're trying to make
Shut up, Swamp Guild.
As I pull out my flask, I'm just flipping it off.
You see that just your hand just gets bigger and bigger and bigger as your guild master casts a large finger.
Oh, God, I know there was a reason I fucking love this guild.
I would agree to it only instead of having 1 year to develop 5 weapons. I get an additional 2 years for 5 weapons.
You're asking for more time with the children, so it allows for her more time to enable to develop said weapons. Seems like a fair trade.
5 years. Wait, you needed 5 years for 5 weapons? I forgot. Sorry.
1 year for 5 weapons.
1 year for 5? Oh, no, it's 3 years for 5 weapons.
You said 1 year for 5 weapons.
I know, but she wants 3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she's seeing the trade-off is for giving the Vidalkin for both kids for 45 years apiece.
Or until she produces a
Yeah, exactly.
a
When
set.
a set for 45 years, allowing her 3 years to develop the 5 weapons.
6 weapons for the 3 years, but the 6 weapon had to be something useful to the Swamp Guild.
Oh no! Useful to me and my friends in my guild. Oh, the tragedy.
It
How
must
could
be-
I ever
It
imagine?
must be built in their laboratory of if you want to even call it a laboratory.
Done.
Oh no! How could I ever respond
Shut
to
up,
it?
experiment.
As it continues to enlarge. as now I'm just having fun with this.
I will set up a meeting with the conclave, but that is for surely an easy yes.
Exactly. And it,
The other 2 would be Boris Legion and their service Signet. But we can work something out with them.
I look towards my guild leader because fuck this guy who's calling me the fucking Swamp Guild. If you need any other services from me, I'm more than happy to lend them to you in order to assist with these deals.
I think your offering would be enough.
I graciously bow and look towards Talbot and nod. Are you good?
And I also take a bow to mine.
Now they will need to come. Your guild master, that's from the Swamp Guild. Will say they will need to come disguised and in waves. We cannot transport them all at once. The other guilds will see this and know that something is up. So we will mass produce inklets like we did yours, so they can always have a human form.
I offer mine as tribute in order for them to assist.
We can mass produce these, but having one that we've already done is useful to have a blueprint of.
Because I'm not attuned to it, so it doesn't really help me to hold on to it. So if it's going to assist them with speeding up the process, it makes more sense to give it back in order for them to
Makes sense.
assist with mass producing it. and especially if I don't need to waste time with using it in order to infiltrate the Geldusk. Like in order to infiltrate Geldusk, I'd rather it pay off towards the protection and everything with Ravnica. Like it makes more sense to give it back.
Right.
It assisted me for a time, but it's no longer of use.
We will see what the other guilds say, but just be known, let them know that if they require tribute of personnel strength or servitude, that it might be done. We will try our best to not let that happen, but we're still bringing outsiders into a guild and then letting them leave.
The more protection we can offer from the Conclave, the better, but I understand that some things have to happen the way that they do. And the main focus we have is that whenever this war is done, that they have a home to come back to.
Which some of the guilds may take that as a opportunity to expand some of their experiments or tests some of those things there. Which they might have to wait to come back just for a little longer, depending on the guild.
Which if we have the volunteers for our guild, hopefully we can offer some to theirs, but that's if the volunteers arise.
So Talbot and Bousta, roll me a d12 each.
Ooh, a D12? I don't get to use those often.
Right?
What a man's. Always using these unforeseen fucking die.
4.
9.
Alright.
A lot of 9s today for me.
So Nev Visit will send 4 of those Cyclopses. Your guild on
This
the
is a
other
combine.
hand- It's a combine. I have to look on what their creatures are.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely not theirs.
And so essentially these would be acting as like
Guard's been kind of holding the
trans-
line.
Sorry, is it wards? That's what they're saying. These elementals. That's what we sent.
Does not surprise me.
to hold their own as in like to help with the transport and if they get attacked
To defend.
or
Just to defend the
Okay.
lands. They don't require food, drink, or sleep, or air.
okay.
So they will send 4 of them to the lands to defend, and then the Cynic Guild will send 9. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm trying to look through the thing right now as well.
Is Cynic Guild towards that back?
It's all kind of like based alphabetically, so it's a little rough.
I must be towards the back of it though.
It should be towards the front, like in the character creation.
Well, they also like in the back actually have creatures that are dedicated to the guilds. Like your guild master's stats is in the back, the very back. She's challenging 18.
Also, Ramon just got home.
Ratnos Carnival has peeps. But yeah, I'll just find and send 9 of them. Alright, so after a bit, both of them will return.
Both of me and like both of who will return.
Talbot and Bousta.
Okay.
To the exact spot they left.
You guys pop back in. Beryl has made pots and pots of tea. We've got cookies on the fire. We're discussing the possibility of poisoning the food supply.
Now, to clarify, these wolves and these creatures that are being sent in to defend the lands, are they did they come with us or are they en route?
It was not discussed.
Oh.
It was just said they will send.
Okay.
Leonins haven't even agreed yet.
Good. So, So, Leander,
Where did you two go off to?
we were making a deal.
With
Our respective leaders of our guilds in Ravnica.
okay.
What we came to a conclusion
Hi,
of
Cor.
was
Hi, friends.
Woo!
Hi.
hello. Well, we came to the conclusion we would be willing to provide a total of a sizable amount of reinforcements in order to defend the lands. We can, barring a passage of a vote, essentially bring you into one of the guilds in Ravnica, in which the guild that we would have that happen with would be one similar to your tribe, so it would be a smoother transition. So that possibly we can get you to join in the war efforts.
And how will we know these people would be safe? In a spot that oh my god, most do not know of.
They'll, because we've put ourselves under contracts. So if anything were to happen, we are in the midst of that. We put our own lives into this in order to ensure the safety of your people.
He looks at you guys. And what defense are they sending? Or are they sending any kind of defense? While we're away fighting this war?
I relay the four Cyclopses from Talbot's Guild.
We switched it to the elementals.
The 4 elementals from Talbot's Guild, and then the 9 insert creatures here.
And are those enough to hold back Gildas?
If they weren't enough, they wouldn't have offered them.
Yes, they are sufficient to defend the land.
And what do we have to do in return? Do we get to reclaim this land with the help of what they sent to defend?
Ideally, yes. But in the end of the day, if the assistance of the guilds as well as your men are not able to reclaim the land, you have a home within Ravnica to come back to when this war is finished. It gives you a fallback, but at least a chance to reclaim your lands when this war is done.
We will discuss it. Is that all Ravnica requires of us? Or what does Ravnica require of us?
From you specifically, and I let them know of the 10 volunteers, that it does not have to be forced, that it is specifically volunteers, that if they do not choose to, they are not forced to. But if there are the 3 men, 2 women of the Leonin and the Tabaxi that are willing to subject themselves to the experimentation, as well as I input that I was the result of an experimentation and I turned out pretty fucking fine.
The best.
Hey, very nice. I relay that information and let them know that like that is what my guild requires of them, and that Talbot's guild doesn't require
Yeah, I would say that my guild requires nothing of the Leonin or the Tabaxi, as I've put all of their requests onto my back.
And I've put a majority of the requests on my back, but my guild still requested specifically volunteers, not forced polls.
We will discuss, and we will have your answer at the meeting.
I do need to, and Talbot reaches for one of Eugene's cards she has to give.
I'm glad you remember that.
Yeah, I remembered. It's like, this is from Eugene. It shows the location of where the meeting is to take place.
You'll grab it.
Supposed to... Okay. I believe this is it. I believe this will satisfy us, and hopefully, we will see you at the meeting. If not, Leander, I'm sure you will inform us.
I will.
Or if you could just inform us either way, just so that would be great.
Well, I will inform you at the meeting.
All right.
But we will not take too much of your time then. You can rest and then head on out to your next objective.
Thank you.
And don't cause any trouble while you're in my camps, Beryl.
I don't foresee her causing trouble.
And keep those goblins under control.
I'm not their dad. They are their own entities. I do not control them.
He pulls out parchment, hands it to you. It shows a picture of you, then three, and says father.
Why in the fuck? Okay.
It's been doctored.
Guess I'm heading back to the Merchants Guild then. As we're leaving, I pull up. Dickery, you want to explain this? Can I physically reach into my hammer?
Percentile. You've actually never tried.
I've never tried. That's why I asked. I hope I got to roll a fucking another 99. That would be fucking poetic.
Oh, and our MVP Gary showed up.
No.
Gary! 75.
Yes.
I reach into the hammer and pull Dickery out.
You just see him like all he's
Still
doing
thrusting.
is this.
On the off chance that I am not going to snap your neck for whatever the hell you're doing inside my hammer, you want to explain this?
And a stocks idea.
Can I inside check that?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. 18 plus 5, if I remember my insight correctly, so 23?
It was Dickory's idea.
Bullshit. Now, I can either let you get back to what you're doing and act like I don't know what's happening, or you can tell me what the fuck is actually going on with this photo.
What? Father?
I'm not your dad.
You look like us.
Do I? I'm an 8-foot tall elephant man and you're 3 tiny
We still
goblins.
gotta grow!
You realize how wrong that is, right?
When your little ones start getting an attitude, sometimes it's time to put them to bed.
They're not my children!
Yeah, but think about it. If they're going to call you their dad, that means you get to control them. You get to tell them what to do, so you can put them to bed.
You just don't beat us this time.
I never beat you! You guys pretty much relaxed and then went into my head and then went into the hammer because I was tired of hearing your voices in my head.
It sounds like child abuse.
I haven't hit you once. I'm a very great father, thank you very much.
Okay, you put me back in my room, Dad.
Go to your room, which is where I wanted to be in the first place.
And just let me dick around in there. How did you get the joke?
Talbot's
If
not even
I
paying
get
attention.
a half-elephant, half-goblin grandchild because of you, I will snap your neck. So your pull-out game better be the strongest. It better be stronger than I am.
If I knew what that was, I would agree to it.
When you finish, right? You don't finish inside.
You always finish inside.
No, you don't.
What's the point of finishing? What's the point of starting if you can't finish?
You ever seen a Jackson Pollock painting?
I don't know what that is. I can't
Fantastic. I explained the concept of a Jackson Pollock painting without getting too much into detail in order to make sure we don't get demonetized. I want his pull-out game to be better than a pull-out couch. And
no, Auntie Talbot, come back! And he turns.
I will, Dickory, I will snap your neck if I get a grandchild and I throw him back in the hammer.
Whee!
Does it look like this place has a tavern, or at least a place for lodging?
I could use that right about now.
I mean, it's like an outside lodging area, but yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I guess I'll go away from whatever the fuck they're talking about.
Of course not here anymore.
No.
And I will.
Her leg is hurty.
Tooth hurty.
And I will just kind of take the moment to sort of meditate.
By the by,
Word.
how many of the Leonin leaders are actually into my plan?
Alright, so you're meditating.
I'm gonna work on the ring. He's gonna go get drunk.
And so I'm meditating,
Mhm.
and I'm focusing specifically on Ayun. The all-knowing Ayun. Just trying to connect,
Okay.
and with how they deal with having so much knowledge, and the conflict of Talbot feeling powerless as she's not able to do much with the information she has. So she's struggling with that.
Okay, roll me a percentile.
Uh, 17.
Alright, you just have a nice quiet meditation, trying to figure out the answer that you're looking for. At the current moment, nothing is coming to you. But you're just trying. You're trying to connect, and I mean, you feel something, but just nothing quite out of ordinary seems to be happening.
I'm not expecting an answer.
Yeah.
I'm just I own to listen.
Yeah, it's not a problem. Okay, so we'll go ahead and just swap to the next day. Everyone's fully rested and everything. The captain will see you guys off after breakfast and everything. And we'll shake everyone's hand. Yeah, and say, it was a pleasure knowing. All game to meet each and every one of you.
Same to you.
It was pleasure is all ours, Leander.
Oh,
Was Leander or the captain?
It's the captain.
It's the captain, it's not Leander.
Oh,
It's the guy that met us on the way in.
then I would have said pleasure is all ours.
So next stop is the captain's gonna ask, is Telltale?
Yep.
Well, good luck with those. Oh, good luck even trying to get a meeting with them. Oof. Those folks don't want to be talked to.
Well, we don't have a choice. We have to try.
How are you going to talk to them anyways?
What do you mean? Do they speak like a different? Do they not speak common?
I mean, they might, but how are you going to find them? Do you have a way?
I mean, generally people find us.
I know, but not even we go into Telltale Hands. Telltale Hands, you may go in, but you're going to come right back out the same way you went in.
Is there like magic on their border?
This whole place is magic.
Well, I mean, like specifically, they got like a protection barrier that kind of like turns you around. Or?
Oh, well, I'm assuming so. I mean, we've sent many people to go in and talk to them. We always end up coming right back out once we all walked in.
You guys used to trade with the Telltale Ant, correct?
Trading is the easiest way for us to explain it. We've left things in a spot, walked away, and then when we turned back around, a new item was there as though we traded. We've actually never met the people.
What kind of stuff do y'all usually leave?
Fur.
Fur?
Fur or some, carving tools or whatnot. They usually will give us fruits, vegetables, some jewelry of rocks or like out of wood. Some kind of stuff like that.
Alright, so nothing in particular that they like if I wanted to make a gift offer.
I mean, you could. I don't know who we talk to.
Well, no, I'd just say if there was something specific that you guys tended to leave every single time that they just particularly like.
Just fur, I guess.
Fur. What kind of?
I don't know if they have any. We don't go hunting in there at all. So we usually just get medicine, I guess. Because of the berries and the roots and whatnot, we usually just get medicine from them.
Alright. That might be a good way for us to communicate with them if we left them a gift offering with like a note on it, and maybe they might.
Well, I mean, I would suggest if you have time, go ahead and go to the marketplace really quick and then make your way.
Yeah, sounds like a really good plan. Talbot? Bousta? Yeah, we'll do that.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Seems fine with me.
Alright. So you guys go
Are you
quickly.
gonna act like I was paying attention?
That's alright. While we're in the market, we can pick up
Per character, Bousta wasn't paying.
whatever things that he mentioned, is fur and stuff like that. But also, I want to pick up. I want to pick up some more wire and jewelry, accessory stuff that I was running low on because I'm going to, in the time it takes us to get to that area, I want to have every night worked on at least one piece.
Yeah, that's fine.
So when I get there, I have a handful of pieces to put into the.
Yeah. I'll just let you guys decide how much you spend on the things. It's up to you guys. I don't really care. Thanks, Gary. Thanks for the hydrate, buddy.
Cheers, Gary!
Not like I have 4 water bottles my 4th water bottle going on.
Fuck your entire fucking life. If we put one more water bottle in you, you're gonna turn into a fucking water balloon.
I want to make sure I get a pretty good thing, so I'm just going to take a little.
The other group will attach, and one of the questions would be, yeah, so who's talking as you guys leave the camp and everything? Oh, who's talking to Cora's grandfather?
That's a fantastic question.
I have sending, so.
Okay. Fuck you, Shao. Shao.
Shorzy?
We'll figure it out.
Was Core? It's Telltale Ann where Core is from. Is where we're heading next. Okay.
Fuck you, Gary. I get a
back
fucking
out
charity
here.
tax break just for hanging out with you, loser. Give your balls a top.
Sorry, tell me and sorry, not Telltale. I forgot Telltale's over here.
Tell this
up
Ann.
here.
On this end. Okay.
What are Telltales?
Oh, I know exactly what pieces I'm working on for Core's people. I know exactly what jewelry I'm doing.
I'm glad you do, because I don't fucking know what the hell you're doing.
Well, Cora's staff had crystals on top of it, which were special crystals that she had to do like rituals and stuff to make them like glow, and they're green. So
He said it.
I
What'd he
know
say?
exactly what I'm doing.
He said it, so I'm assuming he meant you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aww, thanks,
you.
buddy, for giving us those.
I feel like it. Greg, Gary, I genuinely just feel like you're just gifting subs anytime I do the Shorzy impression, and I'm honestly living for it. And it takes so much in me not to just create my next character completely based off Shorzy. I might just create the druid in order just for that character, just to make Gary happy, because Gary obviously is having a great time.
Right. Or at least do a DM PC or player PC. I'll let you have.
That I will work with. I will gladly work with that.
Nothing. I was gonna say, for purposes of just for fun, I was gonna ask if wood that existed in the real world existed in your world, like if I wanted to pick out a specific type of wood, but it really wouldn't matter because your world would not have black light, so the whole thing that made that wood cool would not work.
Oh, okay.
There's a type of wood that's actually fluorescent under black light, and I was going to make stuff out of that because quartz crystals glowed, and I was going to make stuff with that, but it's
So
not.
I want to take a moment here, when we're towards the end of this session. Gary, the man of the hour, the one Ramon, the one KT found, has gifted a total of 71 subs to this channel.
I genuinely have thought of making a bard for that character. I either want to do a bard for that character or do a wildfire druid, of just fuck my entire fucking life. Hey, by the way, bud, take this, and casting a giant fireball that just literally is in the shape of a middle finger.
So there will be a cameo of Gary's character and Cool Whip's character as well in the next couple sessions.
There you go.
So stay tuned to that. I'll have Dom voice Gary's character. And
I will.
Cool Whip.
Gary, if you want to work with me in creating a Shorzy character, I will gladly voice. I mean, you could do that with Bigby's hand. True, Bigby's hand could also do that, but it would be more fun with Fireball because then it just explodes everywhere.
I mean, we could call it Shory's hand.
Shorzy's hand.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. So Gary, work with our friendly neighbor, Dungeon Master Peter, in regards to what you want for Shorzy. I will gladly play Shorzy, whether it be a player NPC or whatever the case may be. I love Shorzy's voice, and I wanted to do it for the next campaign. I couldn't fit it with the character the character class and everything I want to do for next campaign. But I will gladly. It truly gives me serotonin to do Shorzy's voice. So by all means, if you have a PC that you want to do for Shorzy, I will gladly voice that motherfucker. So just
we'll either have it as a recurring merchant bard for the next campaign.
He's just gonna fucking roast the entire goddamn party every single time.
So you guys will get to the very entrance of
That would be awesome.
Sorry to derail.
You're not derailing anything, bud.
No, man, you get to 71 subs. I'm okay with that.
Fuck my entire fucking life. You two tit fuckers light a match in here. The whole bar's going up.
You guys will get there, and you should see just a beautiful entrance between like grass and for your typical Japanese walkway of the
cherry
petals.
blossoms.
Yeah,
And
just all that's swaying. Yeah. I'm gonna leave a shadowy, not a cloaked figure ahead of you, but 30 feet, just in case he's able to make it next week or not. If not, that cloaked figure will just disappear. Just
a humanoid figure in the shadows.
Yeah, a human figure in the shadows.
If she doesn't make it, then it'll just be the shade of the trees making us see things.
And you guys already after next session, since we will go into pretty much you guys have next session to get your final companions before we get into that last month.
It'll be Thomas and either one session or at most 2 sessions. The meeting where we take care of everything and recruit everyone and finalize the deals. And then pretty much the end game where we go out, set up the final combat, and then the final combat day.
Yep.
It's so weird that we're fucking a month out from the end of this campaign, which is crazy to think about. I've only been in it for X amount of time, but it feels so weird that I already have to think about retiring Bousta.
But as always, I'm your friendly neighbor, Dungeon Master Peter. Thank you for joining us this lovely afternoon. As always, thank you, Gary, for the gifted sub to Care Bear 2016 and giving us that lovely character for Dom to DM. As always, Travis, thank you for showing up.
Fuck
and
you, Gary.
giving me a wonderful Talbot. If all else goes well, you guys will have a full society of Leonins and Tabaxis to work with.
Still think we could have gotten rid of Gildusk.
So do I.
But yeah, hey, at least we now know why Gildusk is the way it is. Cannibalism.
I mean,
is
we
a
don't
bitch.
necessarily know because apparently there's no information on this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Even
But
though the
until next
omnipotent
time,
god that
don't forget to check out the last session before we get into our month straight. All the last few testings. And don't forget to join us on the 26th of April, right?
Of April.
Of
Not
April.
this month. Fucking April.
As we do a 12-hour D&D session from morning to night. Having characters come in and out, having new people show up with their characters, having people make guest appearances. It's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be awesome, but we'll see you then.
I'll be here the entire